Well, hi, this is Tom Sult. I'm a medical doctor and functional medicine practitioner.
I'm Elizabeth, a registered nurse and whole life coach.
And as we spelled out earlier, we're going to talk about the science of gratitude and how to incorporate more gratitude in your life. So, what's gratitude?
Thankfulness, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, thankfulness. So just being grateful.
Having a thankful heart.
Having a thankful heart. And so are you trying to tell us that just having an attitude makes your health better?
I'm telling you that the thoughts that you think do affect your health. So if you're having those kind of negative, I feel like those negative thoughts, when they take hold, they grow. And I think gratitude, like finding something to be grateful for, reflecting in that gratitude, is a way for us to switch out of that negative thought pattern into one of more gratitude.
That's right. It's not a circular argument, though. You know, there's been a ton of research on gratitude. And I just pulled up one. This is positivepsychology.com, actually. Yeah, you know,
Every time you turn your head, you have like, come on.
Big Cowlick, me and Alfalfa.
Yeah.
So for individuals, gratitude has been shown to increase happiness and a positive mood. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember, I've told this story before, but I woke up one morning on the wrong side of the bed and was just...
We all have. Yeah. But I remember this one in particular.
You made it that was a little too fast, don't you think? Anyway, I woke up kind of on the wrong side of the bed, and I was grousing around and not very happy, and we started doing our morning ritual, and the sixth step is gratitude, and I'm going, I don't have anything to be grateful for. This is blah, 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 blah. And then I started thinking, you know, I don't know how many of you remember the Olympics were in Kosovo, and just a few years before the Olympics in Kosovo, or was it a few years after? Maybe it was a few years after. Kosovo was in civil war, and you couldn't walk out your front door without being shot at by a sniper. And I just started thinking, well, at least I don't live in a place like that. That's a plus. And it was a cold day, and I thought, well, in a rainy day, and my roof doesn't leak. That was something to be grateful for. And gosh, it's warm in here. I'm not freezing to death right now. And you know what? I just had a fairly pleasant breakfast. So suddenly I went from to, oh wow, what an oversight. There's so much richness, so much beauty, so much to be thankful for that we just take for granted. So, you know, that's one of the things that gratitude does. Makes your life more satisfying.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, if you're noticing those things in your day that are, that are good, instead of, like I said, those negative thoughts, they attract more negative thoughts. They, once you kind of notice something like good or bad, like when you buy that new car and all of a sudden you realize everybody kind of has the same car as you, it's because you're noticing it. The people have been driving that car for, years, but when you put something into your awareness, you just notice more of it. So those happy thoughts, or those, just reflections of things that you are thankful for, they grow.
Really, absolutely. Being grateful, having gratitude makes you less materialistic. Mm-hmm. So many of us are filling our empty hearts with things. Mm-hmm. And I'm guilty of that at times, for sure. Here's a thing, my cello, my electric cello. Here's a thing. There's an acoustic cello over there.
Your camera collection.
My camera collection. Yeah, I got a lot of things. I got an airplane. I got a lot of things. And so are these things that we're buying, are they tools to help us grow in gratitude, or are they just items to fill our empty heart? So it makes us less materialistic the more gratitude we hold. And I think those things that we do purchase become things more likely to enhance our gratitude. So we're less likely to experience burnout.
Thank you, Mandy. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Yeah. Hey, Mandy.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, greetings from Michigan. So less likely to experience burnout. A lot of my colleagues, physicians I mean, are really burnt out. And why is that? Well, frankly, you do the same thing over and 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 over. And it's a bit of a thankless job. I think most people like their doctor, or think highly of their doctor, but they don't say it very often, right? And the only thing that people hear about is when they want to be sued or somebody's complaining about something. So there's a lot of burnout. But by having gratitude and seeing each opportunity to explain something, is like, I haven't explained it to you yet, so it's brand new. So bringing that gratitude into everything you do, but I'm just talking about physicians often feel like, they just have a repetitive job.
Yeah, I think a lot of us probably get in that funk of feeling like we have a repetitive job.
Yeah.
Your life goes on autopilot, and then you kind of start to miss those things when you are just coasting through your day and you're doing, they say that, 90% of the things you do in a day are just out of habit. You don't even make the choice to do them. You're doing them because you did them yesterday or the day before. So,
yeah. And so not only expressing gratitude to other people, but other people expressing gratitude to you can be very helpful for both yourself and for them. And you know what? It helps you feel better physically. When you are in a funk, when you're downward, when your mouth is doing the downward dog, it's a two-way signal. Your expressions and your body habitus, and if you're curled over and hunched down, or if you're sitting upright and smiling, it's a two-way communication. And your attitude affects your physical sense, and your physical sense affects your attitude. So it's a two-way street. So if you're feeling a lot of gratitude and you're feeling like the world is a beautiful place with all kinds of opportunities and connections and so on, that's a very different place than if you're feeling isolated and lonely and all that kind of stuff. And it turns out that isolation and loneliness actually is a pro-inflammatory state. It increases inflammation, and that doesn't make your body feel better. So that is another
So a lot
thing.
of us might be in a pro-inflammatory state right now.
Yeah.
Isolation and loneliness.
Yeah, COVID-19 is not good, is it? It helps us sleep better. So you were just telling a little story about what you do.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I was just explaining that actually the past couple weeks, I was really diving into a couple different books about the power of the subconscious mind, and really that opening between kind of when we're awake and when we're sleeping. So when we're falling into sleep, that is really like a magnet for kind of to set your mood for the next day. And so I've been, as I go to bed at night, which is weird because now I've become more aware that actually when I lay in bed, I tend to think about a lot of the things that I didn't get done, or that I should have got done, or the things that maybe I need to get done tomorrow, or the things that I'm failing at.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, dudas.
Yeah, and so I've been turning those into, okay, I'm just going to spend this time as I fall asleep reflecting in gratitude. And actually that's how I fall asleep every night. Now it's kind of like that, it's kind of that internal battle. Like I am, as I'm falling asleep and I'm trying to be, have gratitude towards things, I feel those other things sneaking in. Well, what about this? And what about this? But I've seen some positive effects with it. And not only that, but just the awareness of kind of where my mind tends to go as I'm falling asleep. So I have found that little exercise that I've been doing to be very helpful. So I encourage you to try it yourself as you're falling in bed. Really reflect, as you're starting to drift off into sleep, really reflect on those things that you are thankful for.
It is that twilight between wakefulness and sleep where you're most able to communicate with your subconscious mind, which is what you're saying. And absolutely. It will, well, that's exciting. I just turned my page. It will also cause less fatigue. Now, that goes back to what we talked about a little bit ago. In fact, the next one says lowers levels of cellular inflammation. I already talked about inflammation, but they're talking about the actual signaling molecules that cause inflammation. And if you have a lot of inflammatory molecules running around, it makes things go haywire and you feel tired. So gratitude can improve your energy level. And this is true if you don't have any issues and you just want more energy, or if you have a chronic illness like chronic fatigue or chronic Lyme or something like that. Practicing especially this right at bedtime, ruminating on gratitude or journaling just before bed on gratitude, and then keeping that rumination right as you're falling asleep can really lower those inflammatory messengers and can boost your mood, it can boost your energy level, it can make your immune system work better. It does a tremendous number of things.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Jody.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, it increases your resilience. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of resilience. So it increases your emotional resilience, but it also increases your immune resilience. So resilience is the ability of, you squish something and it pops back. So a ball, one of those stress balls, you squish it and you let go of it and it turns back into a ball, right? That's resilience.
Yeah,
and
bouncing back.
Bouncing back, that's right. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
So again, we're talking about the science of gratitude and just kind of going through a list here. It encourages the development of patience. Apparently, I need more gratitude. I may not be the most patient person you've ever met. Humility and wisdom.
You use all of yours on wisdom.
Yeah, that's what it is. I like to say that insights follow from a couple different things, but we'll say in this instance we'll say wisdom, and wisdom follows from knowledge, and knowledge follows from mistakes, right? You learn things by making mistakes, and so every time I make a mistake, I like to think, well, I'm gaining wisdom.
Insight.
Gaining insight. So that's right. It does more, though. It does a lot more, but so those are sort of the major categories it does for the individual, but it also does things for groups. It increases pro-social behavior, because if everybody is feeling and expressing gratitude, how often do we think of our kids as, you selfish little brat? Because they're not expressing gratitude, right? They just think mom's the taxi cab or the cook, right? And all it takes really for mom's sense of well-being to go through the roof is for the kids to say, thanks, Mom, as they run out the door. So, if the whole society is feeling and expressing gratitude, it becomes synergistic, and it causes this sort of cohesion of society. And maybe we need to find ways to reach out and express gratitude for those people who maybe have political beliefs different from our own or whatever. It strengthens relationships. And
Right.
there's even evidence that it makes employees better employees.
I would think so. I mean, if you think, when you talked about the relationships, and I was thinking about, even my children as well, or the people around me, it's kind of like, how often do you, when you leave a review, let's say you leave a review, are you more likely to leave a positive review or a negative review? Are you more likely to tell your child all the things that they're doing right, or do you concentrate more on the things that they're doing wrong? And I know me personally, sometimes I kind of look at the things that I want them to improve, because I want them to improve. But I think it's also so important that we should be not only equal to, but more than above the constructive criticism, that we should really be telling them those things that they're doing right, or telling your partner the things that they're doing right, instead of always pointing out the things that really bother you.
Yeah, I think that's carrots are more powerful than sticks. And that's really true, and I think really important. And it also increases job satisfaction, and that's not really surprising. If
when you feel like you're
contributing,
Yeah.
if you're holding gratitude for just, especially right now in COVID world, we're both business owners, and our businesses are down dramatically, right? And yours is essentially next to zero. I mean, so any income that we get, boy, we better be grateful for that, right? And so there are some people who have jobs, that's just fantastic, and there are other people who don't. But I'm just so fortunate to be able to not be on the verge of losing my home and all that stuff, and that's just such gratitude. And it's the same thing. Anybody who's employed right now, boy, I hope they have deep gratitude for the fact that they're one of the few. Because there's a lot of people out of work right now, right? So that's a piece of it, having gratitude for just the fact that you can provide for yourself and your family and blah, blah, blah. But there's another piece, and that is, if everybody is expressing and feeling gratitude, then hopefully your employers are expressing gratitude for your work, right? And that makes the workplace a much more powerful thing.
Yeah, it really, sets the environment as one of, positive reinforcement.
So I want to go over our rebalance to heal thing in a minute, but you already mentioned one way of bringing more gratitude into your life, and that was sort of journaling in the evening and then continuing to ruminate on that journaling during that, as you fall to sleep. And I think that's really powerful and important. Are there other ways that you think about?
Yeah, there is actually. Again, like a couple weeks ago on my phone, so on the home screen, so anytime I touch my phone, maybe to see what time it is, I made like a list of things that not only I'm grateful for, but then also just some, positive affirmation. So every time I look at my phone, which is actually quite a bit, more than I'd
Maybe
like
a
to
little
admit,
too much?
I see those, and I not only see them, but I recite them. And I have found that to be really great, because sometimes, when I look at them and I see them, I realize, hey, those things you were just thinking about really weren't, even constructive criticism. They were you're just being mean to yourself.
They were just being mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I found that very helpful as well. And then, of course, journaling. I love to journal, but I don't always get time for that as much as I would like. So it's really about incorporating these little things into the day, and then...
And you mentioned something really important, because, we make lists, but then if the list just sits there and you go, oh yeah, there's my list, that's a very different thing. And even if you don't have time to recite the whole list, every time you open your phone, if you go, oh yeah, last time I read number 5, here's I've read number 3, here's number 4. And read it and think about it for just a second. And then the next time you open you're back on number 1. Okay, there's number 1. If you have time to do the whole thing, great. But if you don't, just do 1. Or, one thing that I do, I have a chime set up every 2 hours my phone does a little one ding thing, and that is for me to simply take a moment and take stock of where I am and remember that I should be having deep gratitude for the things around me and the people around me and so on, and to kind of get a grip on my stress level and, why am I feeling so stressed out and short and irritable right now when it's just a day, and you know what, I'm the kind of guy who thinks things should go smoothly all the time, and when they don't, it bugs the crap out of me because it's not conscious, right? So every 2 hours I bring all that stuff back into consciousness, and oh yeah, it's just a process. Enjoy the path. I'm kind of a goal-oriented guy. I tend to go through life kind of elbowing my way through the path and trying to get to the goal. Well, turns out in life there really isn't a goal. Life is a journey, right? So if you got to sort of retrain yourself, and little old for this retraining. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. I'm trying though. So we have a morning ritual. It's on our website. It's actually step number 5 under, if you go to our website and under healing programs, Rebalance to Heal, step number 5 is our AM and PM ritual. And you can read a lot about it there. But the first step to the ritual is just to think about a couple of questions. So the first question that we ask is, what is my essence? So what does that mean to you when you ask the question, what is my essence?
What is my core? Like, what am I about?
Mm-hmm. Is that always exactly the same?
Not typically, no.
Well, kind of drifts depending on the day and so on. But it gets you thinking about something deeper than just your surface ego, right? Thinking something about really, what is the essence? What is that kernel of being that without, I wouldn't be me, right? So what is my kernel of essence, my core? And then, we can do this in a lot of ways. If you're in a hurry, you can just think about it for a second. If you have a minute, you can write about it for a minute. If you have longer, if you have like half an hour, you can take 5 minutes or so and write. And if you have a whole day retreat, you can work on that one question for an hour or so, right? So then you just kind of contemplate that essence. What is my essence? What is my essence in general? What is my essence today? And then what is my offering? So what does offering bring up for you?
Offering is, what do I have to give to this day? So maybe some days, if I know I'm involved in a couple of groups or calls, my offering is my ears, or maybe it's my voice. A lot of times it's both. Sometimes it's service. It just kind of depends on the day.
Yeah. So what is my offering? What do I have that I can contribute today? Because often we get stuck in what's in it for me. Well, yeah, but what are you, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That's what Kennedy asked of us. And so that's sort of the first part. The second part is to allow yourself the freedom to simply contemplate that and maybe do some stream of consciousness thinking or writing after you've sort of set the tone with those two questions. Just allow your subconscious to well up into the conscious is the idea here. And we often write, but sometimes just sort of, I just sit in a daze and stare out the window and think about it. And then I think the third step of this is some really interesting, two more very interesting questions. How will I apprehend joy? What on earth? What a weird way to phrase it. What does that mean even?
Apprehend means to like seize.
Yeah, so
to grasp.
And we're trying to find words to kind of stop you in your tracks, and big words that have big meanings. And in fact, my little reminder to meditate for a moment just went off on the phone. So how will I apprehend joy? Well, apprehend has a whole bunch of synonyms. So, you can look up those synonyms and it'll mean a little different thing. So if you want to use a different synonym for the word apprehend every day, it could mean just a little bit different thing. But how am I going to apprehend joy? Joy is all around us. How am I going to claim it? How am I going to claim joy today? And then the last, or second to last, the penultimate, which means second to best. How will I manifest love? How will I manifest love? So tell us about love.
To me, love is something that you create. So when I think of manifesting love, I think of the love that comes out of me more than the love that comes to me. Because I think when you when you really let the love come out of you towards whatever you're doing, maybe it's just towards you're loving the task you're doing, or you're loving your dog, or you're loving your children, your partner.
Even when he goes in the mud like Grizzly did today, you have to love your dog.
Mm-hmm. He's still outside because he's all muddy.
Yeah, but I love him while he's outside.
Yeah. So, to me that word manifest means to create. So it's something that I
posted a couple of days ago a little quote. I think it was Gandhi, but it could have been somebody else. In order to have a friend,
you must be a friend.
You must be a friend. And it's sort of the same thing with love. You have to be lovable, right? Love-able. To be lovable and to manifest love, you have to be love-able. So how will I manifest love? And then the sixth item on the morning ritual is things that you hold in a deep gratitude. And so you're starting your day with these six things, these questions and so on, and then you're ending your day with that. And so we're ending our day with this idea of what do I hold in deep gratitude. And, I encourage you to stretch a little bit, because it's easy to say, my kids. It's easy to say, and when you, obviously, I hope you are, but, stretch it out.
Circumstances maybe,
or even things that are challenging. What is the lesson? Rumi, the
cure for the pain is in the pain.
The cure for the pain. The answer is in the pain. The cure for the pain is in the pain. So, you have chronic Lyme, and it's really easy, or, fibromyalgia or severe autoimmune disease, and it's really easy to say, this sucks, there's nothing good about this, I hate it, there's nothing here. But maybe there is. Maybe there's something, maybe there's a lesson in this illness about slowing down, about
listening to your body,
about recognizing your self-worth as something separate from your output and your job and your social circumstance. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a lesson.
Maybe there's an emotional, emotional trauma or something that you haven't really processed or dealt with in a healthy way that, your body's telling you need to focus on that.
Yeah, and that's not to say, see, you deserve this illness. It's not that at all. It's looking for the silver lining even when it's hard to find, right? It's finding gratitude where, it's sort of like forgiveness. I love Lily Tomlin's explanation of forgiveness. She says, forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better past, right? And hi, Deb. How are you?
Hi, Deb.
And so this idea of gratitude and this idea of holding things in deep gratitude has powerful physiological effects. It has mental, emotional, spiritual, but physiological effects. It improves your immune system. It improves the way your body processes hormones and molecules of emotion. It improves the inflammatory cascades in your body. So that is our talk of gratitude. What are you, any parting thoughts about gratitude?
I was just thinking as you were saying that about, really reflecting on those things that are good. So peace, patience, kindness, compassion.
And especially right now, we've just been through a very contentious and fought over and divisive election, and I hope that we can reach across to each other. And COVID.
And we're, kind of putting ourselves into a little bit of an isolation. Our family gathering for Thanksgiving looks probably different than it did a month ago. Things like that. Or maybe you know somebody that's sick, or know somebody that's struggling with all of this.
Yeah, so trying to have gratitude, and not only feeling your own gratitude, but expressing gratitude, as we said before. It's the expression of gratitude. I started doing something about a year ago. I sort of have fallen off the rails here, so I'm glad I just thought of this. But for a while, I was just sending a little note to people in my life, and just expressing gratitude that they're in my life. And you know what? It was really impactful to people to hear that. And just think about it, how it would feel to you if somebody did that. So I think if we all did that, just a little 1 or 2 liner, gosh, I was just thinking about you today, and I just want to tell you I'm just so grateful you're in my life.
And I even sent personal, I did this too, actually mine was just a month or 2 ago, but I actually sent personal little cards that I just wrote a couple lines in, hey, I just want to let you know I was thinking about you and I really appreciate this about you, or just something that was very genuine and authentic, and something that I wanted to share with them.
Maybe we should start some kind of a chain letter, one of those things that says you'll die by Thursday at 4 p.m. if you don't do this. No, that wouldn't be gratitude, would it?
No, but I suppose you could say, hey, pay it forward.
Yeah, pay it forward. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sending this to you, and
yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's start doing that. I think that's awesome. Let's do a pay it forward gratitude chain thing.
Sure.
That'd be cool. All right. So next Thursday, is that like a holiday or something like it was?
Next Thursday's not a holiday.
Shall we commit to next Thursday?
Sure.
Okay. What time? She says hesitantly.
Yes, I'm
you
just
don't have
thinking
gratitude for these things,
well,
do you?
I'm just thinking, okay, now I'm running a business, and I'm teaching my children from home, and I have another business that I'm running. And so we will be on Thursday, though, at 11.
11 a.m.?
I mean, that's what time we did, but actually nighttime. Maybe we should do the evening.
Tell you what, if you see this video, those of you who are here with us live.
There's 6 of you watching, so you get the first dibs. Does evening work better? Because actually for me it probably would. Okay,
well, let's think about evening. We've tried morning, we've tried midday. Let's try some evenings and see
we could do evenings again.
What works best for people. And we'll go from there. So next Thursday at 7 p.m., 7:30.
7:30.
7:30 p.m.
If that's okay.
All right.
Let's see what somebody said. Somebody said something. Nope.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to all of you as well.
Yes, thanks for watching. And if you I think it would be good if people left in the comments something they're grateful for.
It would be. It would be beyond awesome.
Yeah.
No. All right. Good night.
Bye.